Father would.
Welcome to Divine Lessons, and we are still on the topic of regrets. We are treating Esau's regrets today, and we are going to delve much deeper into it. The story of Esau's regrets over his birthright is a powerful narrative found in Genesis chapter 25, verse 29 to 34, and Genesis 27, verse 1 to 40. It shows the far-reaching consequences of impulsive decision and the deep sorrow that can follow such choices. In biblical times, the birthright, also known in Hebrew as Bikura or Bekura, held great importance. It was an inheritance and blessing reserved for the firstborn son, which included material inheritance and spiritual responsibility. So we all know the story, but I'm going to briefly brush through and get to our lesson. Esau, the elder twin and a skilled hunter, returns home famished after a day in the fields. Jacob, his younger twin, is cooking a stew. Esau demands some of the stew, saying, "I am about to die. Of what use is a birthright to me?" Seizing the opportunity, Jacob makes Esau swear to sell his birthright in exchange for the stew. Esau agrees, prioritizing immediate gratification over the long-term value of his birthright. This impulsive act demonstrates Esau's disregard for spiritual blessing and his lack of foresight. Years later, when Isaac is old and near death, he intends to give his blessing to Esau. Rebekah, their mother, overhears this plan and devises a scheme to help Jacob receive the blessing instead. Jacob disguises himself as Esau, brings Isaac a meal, and deceives his father into giving him the blessing. When Esau arrives later with his prepared meal, Isaac realizes the deception but declares that the blessing has already been irrevocably given to Jacob. Upon hearing the news, Esau cries out with great bitterness, "Bless me, me also, my father." His heartfelt plea and tears reveal the depth of his regret, which we are talking about. He realizes too late the true value of what he has lost. Isaac informs Esau that Jacob will dominate him and Esau's blessing will be subordinate. "By your sword you shall live and you shall serve your brother." Esau's sorrow turned into anger, and he vows to kill Jacob after the father's death, further illustrating his despair and inability to cope with the consequences of his earlier decision. Esau's impulsiveness cost him both the material and the spiritual blessing of the birthright. The birthright was central to God's covenantal plan, and Jacob, despite his deceptive actions, became the heir of this promise. Esau's descendants, the Edomites, would later struggle and often be in conflict with Israelites, showing the ripple effects of this moment in history. After Jacob deceived Isaac to receive Esau's blessing, Esau was devastated and deeply regretted selling his birthright for a meal earlier. He thought it was a joke, but it was the real thing. He wept bitterly and begged for a blessing from his father Isaac. His initial reaction was anger, and he was resolved to kill Jacob after his father's death. So this indicates Esau's struggle to process his regret constructively at first. So over time, Esau appears to have matured and softened, that so many years later, he built his life independently and became prosperous in his own right. The theme of regret, it should lead you to redemption. It shouldn't lead you to destruction. It's because of pride. It should never lead you to destruction. If you repent upon regret, it should lead you to redemption and restoration. When Jacob returned after many years, Esau approached him with forgiveness instead of anger. Their reunion in Genesis chapter 33 was marked by reconciliation, where Esau ran to embrace Jacob, showing no signs of lingering bitterness. This demonstrates that Esau let go of his past anger and embraced peace. Despite losing the spiritual blessing and inheritance, Esau established himself as a powerful and wealthy individual. He became the founder of the Edomite nation, settling in Mount Seir. His success was evident as he had large flocks, herds, and a sizable household. This suggests that Esau worked hard and relied on his own resources and abilities to build a prosperous future. And that's just beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. This is what happens when, upon regret, you decide to actually repent and seek a life of redemption and restoration. Esau did not let the loss of his blessing define his entire life. Instead, he moved forward and achieved material success. His decision to reconcile with Jacob shows emotional growth and the importance of letting go of past grievances. Esau's ability to establish a nation demonstrates his strength and leadership despite earlier setbacks. While Esau may have not fulfilled the spiritual role associated with his birthright, his life serves as an example of how one can recover from mistakes and find success through perseverance and forgiveness. This is all time has for us today, and I hope you've been blessed by this message. Please, if you've not yet subscribed to our channel, I would admonish you to please click the subscribe button and click on the post notification bell so that anytime we post, you'll be notified. Please click on the subscribe button. God richly bless.